you're going to use Lucidpress for this next assignment, and to find Lucidpress, what you're going to do is make sure you're logged in into your Google account up in the corner, then go over to the waffle, tap on the waffle, and you're going to scroll down and you will find Lucidpress listed in the tools. If you don't see it, there's usually a more button at the bottom where you select it. So tap on Lucidpress and that will open it for you. That will be your tool the whole time that you're working on this assignment. So once it's open, and you're going to then go to My Documents, and you're going to make a new document, and you're going to use a blank document, sorry. And in that, you're going to tap on Spreads so that you get your magazine spreads. You're going to add your pages. And so if you're in VAM 10, you're going to have 5 pages. So you'll have your cover was page 1, and then your 2 spreads are page 2 and 3, and page 4 and 5. One of the first things I want you to also do is go to the Share button and hit Collaborate with Others, and you're going to add me. And so I will be in there to see how you're doing, and I can also give you feedback as you go. So my name will type in there, so vgray@rvschools.ab.ca. Once you do that, then you can start working. VAM 20, I'm going to be adding more pages because I have 10 pages of spreads. 10 pages, which is like 5 spreads. So that's how I will work on mine. Okay, so I got my pages set up here. I might want to decide what my margins are, which this blue line defines my margins. So I can go in here, and if I want to make them smaller, I can. And you'll see that that's changed. I might be smart when I do that to select all the pages at the same time, or the ones that I'm typing on. So I could go in here and put 0.4, and then I get, that's a bit too small. So I'm going to go, hopefully it saves. So you can see I've got a small margin there, but it's the same on all 4 pages now. Okay, if I want to scroll up and see my other pages, I just use the slider there. So my title page and then my other 4 pages. I can jump from page to page simply by just bouncing around. Okay, so my margins are set up. I've got a double page spread. I'm going to default to letter, which is 8.5 by 11. Okay, so now I've got my basic pages set up. Let's go down the side here and look at what else we have here. I have the text tool, so if I tap on that, I can come over and start putting text. I have shapes, okay, I have images, okay. Now in order to do images, I have to upload images. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to put in all the images that I'm likely going to work with. So if my first spread is about the other artist that I interviewed last week, then I'm going to put the photos in here for that. And if I'm going to work on another assignment, I can add the photos later for it. So your second pages of spread for your VAM 10 I haven't told you that assignment yet, and that is coming in in a week or so. So for now, I'm going to upload the pictures of that I want for this. So I'm going to go to Manage, right? And I'm going to hit Upload, and I'm going to go to Images, and I'm going to find those images from my desktop and select them. So I have a file on my desktop, and I have my Lucidpress assets, and I'm going to just upload all of those and hit Open. Okay, I've already done that, and they're already sitting in here waiting. Okay, so they're excuse me, they're ready to go. So my images are already uploaded. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of show you some of the navigation tools. If you go down at the very bottom here, you're going to see that I can zoom in. If I want to look closely at a page, I can zoom out to see a bird's eye view of the whole magazine. I can go up here to view as well, and I can change how things fit. Okay, I can put on a grid, right? I can take those grids off, but knowing what we know in Academy, we should be leaving our grids on while we work, because you're going to do a lot of gutters, right? Spaces in between text and photos. You need to have breathing space, and you're going to have a lot of sort of alignment, where photos might line up in a certain way down the page or on the right margins or whatever. So you're going to want to show the grid, okay? And you can also have snap to grid. If you notice that, I can actually have snap to grid so that I can have it so the photos will immediately magnetically sort of attach to the grid. Okay, so also in this view window, I can also zoom in or out, but I can also zoom to page. So zoom to page means that my pages that I'm working on fill my actual viewers so that I can see them full size and get the maximum sort of view of them. Okay, going into the other edit things, pasting, you can paste stuff in. You might want to do your writing in a Google Doc so that you can edit it before you put it in. I can select things. View, I think we've kind of looked at everything there. I can also put rulers in here if I want to show certain, guidelines and things like that. Page, I can add new pages, but I can just as easily add a page over here on the left where my cursor is pointing right now. And I can simply then just take pages out if I don't like them as well. So if I tap on these 2 pages by holding Shift and hit my delete button, I'm back down to my 5 pages. Leave page 1 as your title page, and your title page will probably be done in Photoshop. I don't want you doing it in Lucidpress if we can avoid it, or GIMP or another online editor. If someone's having trouble with an online editor, though, we could easily do it in here if we have to. Okay. Other things I want you to look at, you can duplicate a page, like if you have a page that you like, arrange things. So if I put in some shapes here, let's say I put in a square and I want to resize it. Whenever I'm working with those squares, my tool choices are going to pop up on the right. So I might want to decide to fill that square. Let's say I want to have a yellow theme on this page. Okay. And I don't like the size of that, so I'm going to change it. And maybe I'm going to make it for the whole background inside my margins. Grab it in the corner there. It's not working for me here. Grab it over here. There we go. And bring in the edge. Okay, so maybe I've got that square placed in there. But I think to myself, okay, I want to have it a little bit lighter. Okay, so then I'm going to take over here. I can put a border on that square, change the sizes, right? I don't want to do that right now, but I certainly could, right? Right now I'm not going to have a border, so I'm going to say 0. I can have a drop shadow. So I can come in here and decide if I want to have a shadow. So if I draw another square, I'm going to show you how that looks. So let's say I put a square here. And I move it over to this side. And it can run across my spreads too. Remember, this is like opening up a magazine. You can have things that come across. So let's say I decide I'm going to fill that in just lightly. I'm going to use some orange. But I want to drop shadow. So I'm going to come over here. Why is it not letting me do that? Oh, got to turn it on. Okay. So I can decide if I want a shadow. You see how it's moving around ever so slightly underneath that box? I can decide how much I want. So I could make that shadow much bigger. You see how it's growing there? I can change the color of it. Maybe I want it to be a darker orange. See if I can pick my colors by hand if I want. So I could take it into a really dark orange over here maybe, kind of. Hit OK. So now it's got an orangey gray color. So I can play with the shadows. Careful not to overdo that stuff, but it is kind of fun on the odd thing. Opacity. So I'm going to go back to this square. Maybe I don't want it so bold. I might want to take it down a little bit. Okay. Every once in a while, if you want to see what your pages look like without the grids, go in and just do your view and take them off and then put them back. Okay. So I think that explains all the stuff for the shapes there. If I go layout here, I can rotate the shape if I want and things like that. To do text, you're going to hit the text tool. Decide what kind of text it is. So for this, I'm going to put in body text. It's going to give me a box. I am going to make that box much bigger and sort of position it where I want it to go. So I'm going to put it there and bring it down to the bottom. Then I'm going to take the text that I copied from over here. So I've got my text here. I'm going to take it all and copy it. Copy. I'm going to go in here and paste it in. There I've got my text. Now I've got all my text tools here. I might decide Right now it says 12.8. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to change it down a size. I'm going to just go at 12. Okay. You'll notice that I accidentally didn't get rid of the text that said body text, so I'm going to get rid of that while I'm working. Okay. And now in a magazine, you often don't see a big chunk of text like this. So I'm going to select this text and I'm going to put it into columns. So I'm going to decide what kind of columns do I want. So if I go here over to layout, no, hang on, shape, no, it's in text, I guess. I am going to go down, down here to columns, and I can make it into 2 columns, 3 columns. 3 I think is too small, so I'm going to leave it at 2 columns. Okay, and I like how that fits. I might take and even it up, so I'm going to take the bottom and just drag it up a little bit and even those 2 columns up. What I don't want is this little chunk over here. That's called an orphan, so I'm going to maybe try going one higher and see what happens, or come down a little bit more, because I don't want just one sentence or one word left all by itself. That's why it's called an orphan. Okay, I can use all my other editing tools that I would normally use for a group of text. You'll see them on your right and at the top. Looks kind of cool. I'm going to play with that, bring that up, and then I might want to put in an image, and I might want to bring that page over to the extra. I might even bring it across, right, and have some of my images on the left. If I zoom back out of here, you can start to see how the page is starting to shape up. So I might want to bring those down. Make sure you keep alignment and gridding and all that in mind as you work. So I'm going to make sure that stays inside the margin. That margin on the right needs fixed. And I'm going to start to bring in images now. So if I go back to my images, I might want to decide, okay, here's the artist photo. I'm going to drag that in. Remember, when you're resizing an image, to always hold the Shift key. So I might want to put that there. Maybe I'm going to put my title across the top. So maybe I go to headings, because it's going to be a bigger title. And I move it to where I want it. Should I get the move feature? Right there, the crossbars. Okay, and I might want to put in Mr. Gray. And then I might want to decide, okay, I want to make that much bigger. So I'm going to go here and go 72 and see what happens. Okay, then of course I'm going to play with fonts. So I'm going to select that, go up and look at all the fonts that I've got in here. Now I'm going to just be silly right now. No, don't want to use that one, that's for sure. I might just come along here and use the blackout one, kind of like that. And if I don't find the size up here that I want, I can make my own. So if I go up to 96 and it's not making me happy, I can put in 150 if I feel like it. And then let's just see, if it's red, that means I've got more text down below. And then I can play around with the layout and stuff. Remembering to use alignment and grids, okay? So when I put images in over on the left, I might want to make sure that they line up. I'm going to get 2 square ones actually, drag that over, and take it and resize it, and put it, whoops, can get complicated once you get going. Bring that up, and maybe I want to align it with the columns. And maybe I want to take some of that shadow off, right? So if I go back in here, I can tap on the shape tool. Actually, the image tool has that as well. And I can play with the arrangements, play with the image. There it is, shadow. I can say I don't want shadow. Or I can put it on if I want. But I think it's too much. So I'm going to make it way smaller if I do it. So it's just a little bit. Okay. What other tools might you need in here? Now I want to bring in an image. So I'm going to go over to my images, select an image. So let's say I want to bring this one in. Bring it in and drag it. And place it on my text. But right now I want my text to wrap around that. So I'm going to go and tap on Layout. And I'm going to hit Text Wrap. And now I'm going to move this around a little bit because I don't want it to break my text up too badly. So I'm going to bring it like that. And see what it does is it pushes my text and my text wraps all the way around the outside. Right now, I personally think that the text is a bit too close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to my text wrapping and I'm going to tap on the text wrapping padding window and I'm going to make that bigger. And look what happens. It makes a little bit more of a space around the text so it's got breathing room, right? You don't want your text right up against the photo. You want it to sort of breathe around there. I'm not quite crazy about how I've laid this out, but that just gives you an idea about how you can get your text to wrap. Maybe that looks a little bit better how I did that. I can take that, make it bigger, and then that's how text wrapping works.